Okay, so I am a huge Nack the Weasel, Fang the Sniper fan. Have been for about 24 years. And that, my first introduction of the character, since we were too poor to have the Game Gear, I saw this ad for the Triple Trouble game on the back of issue 20 of the Archie Sonic comic. And I saw this picture of this interesting little purple guy. And it was so frustrating because I couldn't find out who he was. This was the mid-90s. I couldn't go to Wikipedia or whatever. So I was so confused. And I didn't know who he was for like 6-7 years. I think it was about 2000 or 2001 when I finally got a name for this guy. And at that time it was Nack the Weasel. And I was never happy at all with how he was portrayed in the comics. Like in the Triple Trouble adaptation comic by Archie, he was an absolute joke. He appears for like a couple of pages and then gets knocked out by Knuckles. And then Sonic and Knuckles use him as like a puppet while he's knocked out. Nod his head and stuff, talking to Eggman. It was so pathetic. Ugh, I hated it. So I actually sold that comic to a fellow Nack fan. I don't know how she stood it. But, so later I wanted some of the other comics that were in the Sonic Select. And it happened to have that darn story in it. At least the Nack looks cool on the cover, though. So, then, finally this year, we have a real Nack story that's good. And I'm totally psyched for these other issues. There's going to be 4 in this mini-series. I went and got the first one the first day it was out. So happy about that. And also, I really love the Seasons of Chaos story, but I don't own it yet. But I saw it online and I just adore it. And technically, you could say my little Nintendo 2DS is also part of my Nack collection because I have digital copies now of Triple Trouble and Sonic Drift 2 on it. I also have a ROM of Sonic the Fighters. That came out long before they finally reissued it on like the Xbox or whatever it was. And I haven't played it in years, but I did enjoy playing that to play as Nack because that was like for years the only thing I had where you could play as him. And then finally I got the 2 Game Gear games with him. I was so happy about that. And up until a couple of months ago, this little guy was my only Nack plushie. Now this is the keychain plush that came out with Sonic the Fighters in Japan. He is very well loved. The white isn't so white anymore in person. And the tag is all worn away. You can't read it anymore. Used to be able to see it was written in Japanese. It was cool. And they just gave him the little tail here. It's a little piece of felt. And the ears are also felt. The only really furry thing about this Nack were these the little cheek fur pieces. And I stroked them. Finally, I found out last year that Great Eastern Entertainment made a Nack. And after a lot of failed tries, I finally was able to get one when Amazon had them at a good price. And that was in October. And I suppose that was because of Sonic Superstars. And I, for some reason, didn't even know about that game until like 2 months later. And I'm like, what? How did Nack get into a game and I didn't know about it? But, so I finally got this guy by Great Eastern. And we all know Great Eastern does amazingly accurate plush. So he looks totally awesome. But unfortunately, I don't know why, but Great Eastern just doesn't do furry. And that bugs me so much because I like furry. But I love him. He's got like a little felt thing here. Looks like it's just probably glued on. And felt belt. Looks like the things on his gloves are also probably just glued on, so hopefully they're not going to come off someday. Probably will, and I'll have to re-glue them. Here's this little hook. Well, so then, recently I found out that there was another Nack plush, and this is, pretty sure it's a bootleg, but it is an amazing bootleg. You know, bootlegs don't always mean terrible quality. Occasionally, there's actually a bootleg that's better than the official one, or at least on par with it. There was a Luna plush that was a bootleg, and Sailor Moon fans all said that she was better than the official Luna. And she did look pretty cool. I don't have her, but, you know, she was cool. But anyway, this tag here is so weird. It has, Werehog Sonic from Sonic Unleashed on it. And of course, Nack had absolutely nothing to do with that game, so the tag is a pretty good indication this is a bootleg, even though they're trying to make it look like it's official. Yeah, well, this is a really, really weird thing here. This will sure tell you it's a bootleg. I don't know if you can read this, but it says New Yolk. And not like an egg yolk like in Sonic Prime. This is Y-O-U-K. It's just like, oopsie. Misspelling that is a pretty good indication this is a bootleg, but I went into it knowing he was a bootleg, and I wanted him anyway because finally, it's a furry Fang. He's just very, very soft. Feels kind of like minky almost. Oh, I love it. And in this one, the eyes and the fang, and the mouth, they're embroidered. Isn't that cool? So I have to admit, I like that way, way better than what Great Eastern did with just like a felt fang that will probably come off someday. And embroidery, that's kind of forever. So how cool is that? Now the band on the hat needs another little attachment here so it will stay down. When I opened the bag, it was like flopping off. But it is attached here at the back. I don't know why they didn't attach it at the front too, but that's an easy enough fix. I totally love him. I love all of my Fang plushes. I usually call him Nack because, you know, that's how I know the character. And it's also really hard to get used to him not being a Weasel, so I kind of want him to be a Jerboa Weasel cross. But, well, whatever you want to call him, whatever animal you think he is, he's awesome. And I just love all three of my Nack plush. And, of course, it was my dream to someday have the big Sonic the Fighters plush. But that's what everybody wants, and the prices for that are through the ceiling, so I'm sure I'll never be able to get that. And I'm totally happy with what I've got. I've got some great plushes here. This one's all furry finally, so I'm totally thrilled. And I love the one that Great Eastern did, and I love the little keychain guy. You know, every single one of these is a different shade of purple. I think the Great Eastern one's the most accurate to the color of the character. I know this is the most inaccurate color. It's kind of more of like a red-violet instead of actual purple. But, oh, I just love him. I love him. And I know this has nothing to do with the video, but I also want to show. I bought this guy from AliExpress, and to get free shipping, I also bought this adorable Jolteon. Now, the Jolteon, I'm not sure that he's a bootleg at all. I thought he probably would be, but he looks absolutely official. So well made. I just adore him too. So, I gotta admit, I'm gonna be buying some more plushes from the seller that had the Jolteon, because they have some other Pokemon I want. So yeah, definitely check out AliExpress if you want to get this guy for a good price. I got him for like $5. There was another seller that had him for about $13, which isn't bad. I mean, this is a real high quality guy here. So if you don't care that he's probably a bootleg, definitely get him because he is really well made. I just love this, the embroidery, how soft he is. So that is my little Fang collection. I'm hoping desperately we're going to get a figure of him. I mean, why don't we have a figure now that he's in another game and stuff, you know? Really, really hoping Jakks Pacific will make the figure soon. And looking forward to the other comics in this great new comic miniseries. So, yeah, these are my Fang plushes. And thanks for watching, and see you in the mall.